And Anu, if you could just do the invocation, Sahana Bhavatu, we can start with that.
Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhuna.
Just do the invocation.
Was it echoing?
Yeah, no, now you can. You're good. Sorry.
Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
Thank you, Anu. It's a traditional practice to start the class or the study sessions with this chanting. So I got a question that's in fact from the Vedanta class to explain this. I will explain this on Thursday's session. Somebody wanted to just have a quick understanding of these verses. We will do that on Thursday. In fact, that came from YouTube. We will do that on Thursday, Vedanta class. So we will continue the Gita discussion, chapter 3, which is, we were going through the most fascinating topic of Karma Yoga. So we try to understand what exactly is Karma Yoga and what Krishna's contribution, like he took certain ancient ritualistic practices in the Veda and tried to explain the true meaning of that practices by inculcating or extending the symbolism of that practices into everyday actions. So we can start with the chanting, and we went up to verse 15. We will try to see what exactly is the cosmic cycle or the karmic cycle we talked earlier. And then we can go to the next three verses today. And any question answers we can do at the end. So Anu, could you please chant from verses 9 to, I would say, 18? Because 9 to 18 is the topic we are going to see. The whole topic of Karma Yoga started from verse 9.
Okay. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Atha Tritiyodhyayaha Karma Yogaha. Yajñāṭhāt karmaṇo nyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha tadattham karma kaunteya mukta sangas samāchara saha yajñāః prajās sriṣṭvā purovaca prajāpatihi anena prasavishyatvam एषवोस्त्विष्टकामधुक् देवान् भावयतानेन ते देवा भावयन्तु वः परस्परं भावयन्तः श्रेयः परमवाप्स्यथ इष्टान् भोगान् हि वो देवाः दास्यन्ते यज्ञभाविताः तैर्दत्तानप्रदायैभ्यः यो भुङ्क्तेस्तेन एव सः यज्ञशिष्टाशिनः सन्तः मुच्यन्ते सर्वकिल्बिषैः भुञ्जते ते त्वघं पापाः ये पचन्त्यात्मकारणात् अन्नात् भवन्ति भूतानि पर्जन्यादन्न संभवः यज्ञात् भवति पर्जन्यः यज्ञः कर्म समुद्भवः कर्म ब्रह्मोद्भवं विद्धि ब्रह्माक्षर समुद्भवम् तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्मा नित्यं यज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितम् एवं प्रवर्तितं चक्रम् nānuvartayatīha aghāyurindriyārāmo moghaṃ pārtha sa jīvati yastvātmaratireva syāt ātmatruptascha mānavah ātmanyeva ca santuštah tasya kāryam na vidyate naiva tasya krite nāर्थः nākrite neha kaścana na chasya sarvabhūteshu kaśchidatthavyapāśrayah.
Excellent. I know I have to comment it. You are chanting brilliantly. This chanting itself is a meditation.
Thank you, Rajesh.
I'm sure all of you agree with that. This is excellent. Your diction is perfect. Your meter, means the way the tune is great, and it's a privilege to listen such chanting.
We are having a great privilege from you, Rajesh. No comparison. Yeah.
But just acknowledging that.
Yeah, we all second your thoughts, Rajesh. It's very nicely put.
Very nice chanting. It's really good, because we were missing this in the group. So now you fulfilled it. Not all people can chant. Anyway, so let's continue the discussion. So just try to understand, right? So connect the dots, make sure that there is no doubt. So we discussed the fact that the spiritual path consists of two steps. One is a preparation step, and second one is understanding yourself. The first part is broadly called as yoga, which consists of, in fact, two practices. One is called karma yoga. The other one is upasana yoga. The purpose of karma yoga is to develop a pure mind. A mind that is not conditioned by the programming, the previous programming or the habits or anything like that. A mind which is free from all the bindings which was created in the past. So that is karma yoga, followed by another practice called upasana yoga, which is to gain a stable mind, a controlled mind, a quiet mind. So karma yoga means, on a high level, you can say that both comes under the broad umbrella of yoga. So when you look at Patanjali Yoga Sutra or the Bhagavad Gita chapter 6, that mainly focuses on the upasana yoga, which is the stability, how to gain control of the mind. Majority of such practices are internal practices, whereas this karma yoga includes the external practices. So the goal of the karma yoga is to gain a pure mind. And when verse 9, Krishna started exploring what exactly is this karma yoga, he said, yajna, you have to convert your actions as yajna. So what is yajna? So we tried to understand that a little bit more. The yajna, we said, every actions you perform can be categorized into 2-3 levels: sattva, rajas, tamas. An action can be an yajna when the action is not a tamasic action. Yes, you can perform the rajasic action, but along with the rajasic actions, you need to make sure that you are including these yajnas into your daily actions. And that is, to be specific, panchamaha yajnas. So along with the work you do to earn your living, earn your life, etc., that is completely fine as long as it is not tamasic. Tamasic means you're not earning at the cost of somebody else. You're not breaking the law. You're aligning with the natural law of the land. That is perfectly fine. Then along with that, make sure that you are doing some panchamaha yajna. And what is that panchamaha yajna? We talked about the deva yajna, pitru yajna, manushya yajna, bhuta yajna, brahma yajna. So when you do, what is going to happen is, this is going to purify your mind. So this is what Krishna said. And then he went a little bit further. What exactly this yajna? Yajna, he said, like there is a perfect order or the harmony in the universe. So what is that harmony? Means, I try to explain this a little bit, try to marrying both the religious language and the scientific language. You can see natural laws or the order in the universe, the law of gravity, your digestive system, how it works, how you breathe, how the oxygen is sent to all your blood cells, all those are, you can say that they are scientific laws. When you convert that, when you take that into a religious language, what do you call that? It's a blessing of the God. It's the same thing. Whether you're a scientist, you may say that it is the law of the universe. Whether you're a religious person, what do you call? It's the law of the Ishvara. Both of them are pointing to the same fact. So Krishna is saying that what yajna means, you are making sure that your actions are aligned with that natural order of the universe, natural laws of the universe. So physically, psychologically, socially, you are making sure that you are not disturbing that natural harmony of the universe. Your body is designed to take certain food. If you don't eat, you're violating that natural harmony of the universe. If you overeat, again you're disturbing the natural harmony of the universe. So what Krishna said is, yajna means by aligning the natural order of the universe, you're propitiating the devas. Devas means the order of the universe. So the digestive system, you can consider that as a devata. The breathing system, you can consider that as a devata. How you are offering or propitiating that devata? By following that harmonious law. So by performing yajna, you are propitiating the order of the universe. And in return, if you eat appropriate food, what is the benefit you are getting?
Good health.
Good health. So that can be considered as a blessings from the devata. So devan bhavayatanena. When you do yajna, what is going to happen? You are propitiating the devata. And in return, what the devatas will give you? Te devan bhavayantuvaha. Devatas will propitiate you back. And then he tells parasparam bhavayantaha. You are creating a harmony with the universe, within yourselves, and within the community. And stena paramavapsyasa. Everybody will prosper. So some people, what do? They take the benefits from the devatas. They get the free air. They take their heartbeats for granted. Think about this. Just think about this fact for a second. Your heart, right? What is the size of the heart? This is what they say. This is the size of your heart. And what is happening? Right? This is happening. From the day you born, the day you go away, this is going to happen. Have you ever thought how it is happening? If you ask a scientist, what do he say? The programming of the neural programming which controls your muscles, isn't it? Anybody disagree? It is the neural programming that controls your muscles. And who did that programming? A scientist will say that natural laws of the universe. A religious person will say what? Ishvara's law. It doesn't matter. But you have to understand whether you call it as a natural law of the universe or whether you call it as an Ishvara's blessing, you have to understand a stage is set for you. Everything is aligned for you. You don't have to worry about that. The air is given to you, the water is given to you, the health is given to you. Your body is perfectly programmed. If there is a human programming, you would see bugs. This is perfectly programmed. Everything is given to you. And this yajna, another way of looking at this yajna, it's a thanksgiving. By performing certain actions, by aligning with that natural order of the universe, you are just giving a thanksgiving to that nature. Honestly speaking, this is the thanksgiving. being sensitive to that natural order of the universe, being sensitive to the nature, being sensitive to the other human being. Honestly speaking, this is the real thanksgiving. When you are sensitive to that, you will see that, yes, I am part of the whole. I am also a one, actually, part of that overall connection. This is the lifestyle given by the Vedas. And symbolic yajna or the ritualistic yajna is just a symbol. It's just a symbolic representation of aligning with that natural order of the universe. That is what the symbolic yajna. So a lot of people, what do they do? They do the symbolic yajna. And exactly they took all the leftover and throw that in a river. This is what is happening. That is bad. So symbolic yajna is only a symbol. You focus more on symbol and you ignore the reality, and that's what Krishna was trying to avoid. Do you get the depth of these verses? This verse is much, much, much larger than people think. So by aligning with this, I am part of that universal order, and I'm helping nature and I'm helping myself. And the last two verses we saw, right? Annat bhavanti bhutani parjanyad anna sambhavaha yajnat bhavati parjanyaha yajna karma samudbhavaha karma brahmodbhavam vithi brahmakshara samudbhavam tasmat sarvagadam brahma nityam yajne pradishtitam. These were the two verses we saw. The cosmic cycle. For life to continue, you need consumable goods. Anna means aharati iti anna, that which is a food for sense organs. So what is food for your mouth? That is the traditional ahara, the food. Then what you see is the food for your eyes. What you hear is the food for your ears. So the life to sustain, you need to have consumable products around you completely. It could be food, it could be a good sight, it could be a good music, it could be everything, every objects in the universe which is helping humanity. How these objects can be created? For you to create this objective, your hard work is required. Along with this hard work, some conducive environment is required. Just like when you do the agriculture, you sow the seed, you plow the land, you put the fertilizers, but if there is no rain, nothing will happen. So yet, apart from your hard work, there has to be some favorable condition. And that condition is known as psychological rain, or the conducive environment for your action to reap the appropriate result. That's a very, very important factor in the Karma Yoga. And we call it as evaṃ or adrishtam, etc. In the 18th chapter also, you will see that. Same idea coming. So this rain is critical. Now, how this rain comes? Yajna. When you perform your actions with this spirit of Karma Yoga, you will see that things will automatically realign and you get that X factor will come to you. This is a promise given to us by Krishna. So yajnat bhavati parjanyaha. And how does the yajna bonds? With hard work, karma. Yajna karma samudbhava. Your work contributes yajna. All the karma won't become yajna, but yajna, when you perform yajna, these favorable conditions are going to happen. Your karmas can be rajasic and swatik, but when you do this panchamaha yajna, when you do the deva yajna, pitr yajna, bhuta yajna, manushya yajna, brahma yajna, you will see that automatically this rain comes to your actions and it will create favorable conditions for you to reap the results. Now, how do you act? Where exactly this art of action or art of man means work is described? Karma brahmodbhavam vithi. The art of right work or the proper work with proper action, it comes from the scripture. The word Brahma means here scriptures. Karma brahmodbhavam vithi. So the word Brahma can be multiple things. One of the meaning of the word Brahma is Vedas. Vedas means scriptures. It can be mean Brahmaji, or it can means the Brahman, absolute reality, or it can be mean Veda also. So that is the word Brahma Shabda has all these meaning, and Shankaracharya takes the word Veda because that makes most appropriate sense here. So the way to work properly is given by Vedas. And from where the Vedas came from? The Vedas was a revelation of Ishvara. Brahmakshara Samudbhavam. This Vedas came, or the scriptures came from the Supreme Lord, absolute reality, imperishable Lord. And then he tells, Tasmat Sarvagatam Brahma. Therefore, the key teachings of the Veda is based on the idea of yajna, because this yajna is a means to prosper. Is this idea clear? Because this is not a superstitious idea. These two verses has a lot of depth meaning. Let me pause here. So what do you do from our perspective? You may say, right, I do a lot of things, but most of the times exactly the natural laws are aligned in such a way that luck won't favor me. If you want to earn that grace, we call it as Ishvara Kripa. That is one way of looking at it. If you want to earn that Ishvara Kripa, follow this Panchamahayajna. Avoid tamasic actions. If you avoid tamasic action and follow this, consciously follow this Panchamahayajna, follow the Ishwararpana Buddhi, follow the Prasada Buddhi. When you do that, you will see things will automatically realign, and you will see that X factor more and more in your life. So I believe somebody was asking me earlier when we were starting the Gita, can the grace be earned? Yes, the grace can be earned by performing Karma Yoga, by performing Panchamahayajna. Yes, it can be earned. I mean, if you doubt a little bit of this teaching, try to practice it. If you're conscious, because Arnabji, I think this was one of your questions, where to start? Here to start. Starting is this: avoid tamasic action, perform rajasic action, but every week, at least every week, you make sure that you're doing these Panchamahayajna. And doing Panchamahayajna is not an overhead. Anybody has any doubt in doing Panchamahayajna? Money should not be a problem. Health should not be a problem. You can do this easily. Is anybody find difficulty in doing Panchamahayajna? Do a monitoring of every month and make sure that I've done, you're checking the box out. Panchamahayajna I'm doing. What exactly is your Devayajna? It is your choice. What is your Manishayajna? It is your choice. What is your Brahmayajna? It is your choice. What is your Pitrayajna? It is your choice. But make sure that all the 5 are done. What is your Bhutayajna? It is your choice. Somebody was telling last week, right? I said, like, you can water a plant, or you can just do a plant. Or if that is not there, just pray. Close your eyes and pray. If anybody has doubt in operationalizing this, talk to me offline. We can sit and fine tune it. Any questions?
No, Rajaji, just wanted to say that the sum and substance of life is to really earn Ishwar Kripa. That's what we are all trying to do.
Yeah.
And if since this is a formula to gain that,
yep,
then this is the most essential thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's not really it's an overall development of an individual, right? You're forcing yourself into a lifestyle which is designed for a human being. Let me just bring to your attention, ecology is a branch of science now. When did the ecology came into being? Have you referred? Can you guess? Maximum 1800? Do you think ecology as a branch of science exists before 1800? Or take all the doubts, 1600? What was the scientific community thinking before 1500? What was the initial scientific worldview? Or what was the initial human worldview? The world is created for me. I can exploit it. But now, the same science has changed into this. And here you have verses taught 6,000, 5,000 years back, talking about this harmonious living. Here we have verses which talks about thousands of years back, which talks about the alignment of universe and the human being. You all should feel proud of your heritage. This is exactly what it is. Okay, so now let's continue. Anu, could you chant verse 16?
evaṃ pravartitaṃ cakraṃ nānuvartayatīha yah aghāyurindriyārāmo moghaṃ pārtha sa jīvati.
Okay, so he tried to say, suppose somebody breaks this cycle, right? What is the cycle? The products are born out of, means the human work. For that, the psychological rain is required, or the favorable conditions are required. And for favorable conditions, you have to do yajna. Yajna comes from hard work as designed by the scriptures. So there are, human beings have a choice. You can choose to follow this lifestyle, or you can choose to follow a lifestyle which breaks this. I can take all the profit. I can take everything from the nature without doing the yajna back. That means I would just focus myself with rajasic and tamasic work. So what is the characteristics of that person? So he tells, evaṃ pravartitaṃ cakraṃ. This chakra, this wheel, or this cosmic cycle, which is already set in motion by the intelligent order of the universe, which is Bhagavan, in the religious language. If you take the scientific language, the natural law of the universe. So this order of the universe, which set forth, already set in motion by the Bhagavan, or the natural laws of the universe. The person, yaha na anuvartati, the one who do not follow a lifestyle which is aligning with this cosmic cycle. What is Krishna saying? That aghāyurindriyārāmo, akhayu, because aghāyurindriyārāmo moghaṃ pārtha sa jīvati. So he tells such a person, what he commits is sin. Akha means sin. Sin means wrongdoing. That's it. It's not the original sin we are talking here. We are talking about the wrongdoing. And then what he is qualified, the adjective used is aghāyurindriyārāmo, the one person who do not see anything beyond the sense organs. Such people, right? They live only for what? To eat food, to see good sights, to hear good thing, whatever pleasures life offers to them, they live to that. They are only takers. They are not contributors. They are not contributing to the universal order. Such people, indriyārāmo, means such people who just live based upon their indriyas, the sense organ demands. Okay, I like the food, so I overeat. That's a simple example. That is a simple example of indriyārāmo. No control. Whatever the sense organs demands, he will do that. Such people live a wasteful life. Moghaṃ pārtha sa jīvati. Krishna says, even though they live a life, appears that they are happy, but it's a wasteful life. Look at the life of a pig. The pig, when it just be in the mud and just living the life, it appears to be happy sometimes. Occasional pressure is there. What exactly the pig does? Just satisfies that. Satisfy the senses. Whatever it want to eat, reproduce, just play, that's it. Do you want a human life like that? One day, actually, one person went to Swami Chinmayananda and he said, like, I'm so proud to have these many grandparents. His response was, a pig may have more relatives or an extended family than you. What skill you need to have that? Nothing. So the human life is so precious, which helps you to go beyond these instant gratification, right? What we call it as engaging happiness, or the pleasure, right? This more than the pleasure of the body. You can go beyond that. 18th chapter, Krishna tells that, like, what is sattvic happiness and what is rajasic happiness and what is tamasic happiness. This is tamasic happiness. You just eat, you're happy. You do whatever pleasures you take the sense organs, that is happy. So this verse, Krishna tells, human being is the only one who can break this cosmic cycle. And when the human being break, the people who breaks this cosmic cycle, he is considered as a indriyārāmo, the person who revels in the sense organs, and his life is a wasteful life, and he only earns sin. So instead of getting the mind purified, if you break this cycle, your mind will get more impurity, which will be taking you completely away from the spiritual path. So two snapshots were given, right? One is people who follow this life, what happens? They will prosper, they will spiritually prosper, they will materially prosper, they will be more happy, they will be more contented. On the other side, the people who try to cheat, they are only earning but sin, and their life is a waste. Any doubt on this topic? Look at the depth of teaching here. This is the spirituality, real spirituality. You don't need to be an ardent devotee of the God to follow this karma yoga. That is the beauty, right? What is asked here? Krishna didn't ask you to sit and chant Vishnu Sahasranama 24/7. He said, do what needs to be done. Do what needs to be done with a certain attitude. That's all. So this is going to make you a better bhakta, rather than the fool who sits and blindly chant. There's a good story told by Swami Chinmayananda. So one guy, like, the qualification is vimudha, special fool. He was in a rain without an umbrella, like he was walking. And he was going to all the shops and asking for water. The rain was pouring. He was just asking for water. One shopkeeper said, why don't you just hold your hand? That is going to give you the water. This yajna can be considered like that. Or the prayer or the gratitude can be considered like this. You can hold that. But some people, what they do, they keep the hand like this. So what happens? Still you may get a little bit of water. So the prayers you do, if it is not proper, it won't get the full benefit. If you pray properly, the prayer need not be 24/7. Just 5 minutes is good enough. But prayer alone is not sufficient. You need, along with the prayer, that's why the Pancha Mahayajna, he said, like, you have to follow 5. Manushya Bhutayajna, Pitruyajna, Brahmayajna, along with the Devayajna. You have to follow that. And if you don't believe in God, still it's okay. Just surrender to an ideal. What is that ideal? I wanted to make sure that the universe is good, or I'm committed to ahimsa, or I'm committed to. So it doesn't matter whether you are a believer or not. You can follow this practice, and it is going to take a different dimension. I can vouch on this. If you try to follow this, you will see the amount of pressure reduction in your mind. This is I can testify that with my own life. So Arnabji, you have been asking for a long time where I should start. This is where you should start.
Right, Rajeshji. I will be operationalizing the Panchamahayagna, and I'll share the details with you, Rajeshji.
Along with this, so yeah, if you practice this along with a 5 minutes meditation or the yoga pranayama practice, this is the sadhana we all should be focusing. So people, when they come to Vedanta or the Gita, somehow I don't understand. People miss this part and they pick up the knowledge part. They started learning Upanishads and they started brainstorming these empty brainstorming session, Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya, etc. One thing you need to say, Arjuna also wanted to do that. That is how the beginning of this chapter was. Yes, you can study that along with the Karma Yoga. Remember the first verse? Jayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhir janardana tatkim karmani khore mam niyo jayasi keshava. Krishna said, let me go to the knowledge. Let me skip the yoga. Krishna said, no, you have to do this. So this is a teaching for all of us. This is extremely powerful. Any other questions? If not,
not a question, Rajesh, but a comment. I think the more karma yoga you do, the more you will experience the grace also. I mean, the grace probably was there always, but the more you do, yet you will recognize that grace.
Exactly. Absolutely, Gina. Grace is always there. It is like that rain that is pouring. This fellow was wandering in the street, but when he opened up the hand, he got it. The grace is always there in our life. Without the grace, I always wonder, like when you get up in the morning, your life itself is a grace. Sometimes all these things, and sometimes I feel like, I had a chance to spend a few days in hospital in a few years back, continuously. Especially when you are living in the hospital, 5 days that taught me the life's lesson. Because what is that life's lesson? Appreciate the normal life. If you have any doubt, just go to this Robert Wood Johnson or St. Peter's or any such hospital nearby. Just go to the pediatric ward. It's such a terrible sight. So the very fact that I can live and breathe, I have a job, I have a family around me, I have health, all that itself is a big miracle. Our scripture says that, right? If you get 74 years, that's great. That itself is a great grace. If you don't get it, it's okay. Like, just do your best and have faith in that universal law. It's amazing. Excellent point. The grace, recognition of the grace is going to make your life more meaningful. Typically what happens, we try to convert these luxuries into necessities. It's okay to use these luxuries as luxuries. We always tell that story, right? When you had the first Maruti car in India, that was a luxury. Isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, if you're given a Maruti car, if your AC is not working for 2 minutes, will you adjust? So the modern progress is nothing but converting. This is Swami Dayananda's expression. He always used to say this, converting luxuries to necessities. So a spiritual seeker, while it's not that you should reject all the luxuries. That's not what we meant. Some people, what do? They just run away from everything. That's not what the spirituality is. You use everything knowing that it's a luxury. So then you appreciate it. When you got that first Maruti car, how you used to treat that car? Every day you used to wash it, right? You used to clean it, you used to look at the car every day. Forget the car. The first bicycle you got, how excited you were. Amazing. So this is what the Karma Yoga, it's an attitude. Now, if that is the case, how long? Because initially, this is not my lifestyle right now, correct? I'm trying to adopt this lifestyle for my progress. When you try to adopt a new lifestyle, for example, so Gina's class or Avneet's class, or you use your watch and track all the rings. Do you think that it will automatically come? Arnabji, again, you're tracking now, so I know that. So Bala, you started drinking water. You started making sure that activity is there. You started healthy eating. You started meditation. You all are doing right now. That's fantastic. But initial days, don't you need a checklist? Correct?
Yes.
So that is why we all support each other, right? We all say that, okay, I did that, you did that, etc., etc. So when you adopt a new lifestyle, for some time you need to consciously follow that. How long you need to consciously follow that?
Until it becomes a practice.
Exactly. So this Karma Yoga or this lifestyle, Krishna highlighted, you need to consciously practice. How long? Krishna gives, who can be exempted? Who can take an exception from doing this? That is what the next two verses. So let's see. What would be the answer? Can you tell me?
Physically disabled, right?
Unless it becomes natural thing for you. That's all. So let's see. Let's see the next verse. Only exception. Anu, could you chant?
यस्त्वात्मरतिरेव स्यात् आत्मतृप्तश्च मानवः आत्मन्येव च सन्तुष्टः तस्य कार्यं न विद्यते.
So Krishna tells everybody has to follow this lifestyle. Only exception is one category of people. So this is a checklist given to us. Until I reach this stage, I am asked to follow this lifestyle consciously. The reason is what? When you reach this stage, that lifestyle will be naturally part of yourself. And what is the lakshana of this? This is the lakshana of a jnani, a self-realized master. Until then, you have to follow this. So let's understand that. Yastva atmaratirevasya atmatriptascha manavaha atmani evaha tan santushtaha tasya karyam na vidyate. This is very interesting. So he tells a person, because right now, for me to become happy, what am I supposed to do? If I watch a movie, I might be happy. If I get a food, I'll be happy. If I see the presence of my child, I'll be happy. Some people, I will be happy when I'm with them, and some people, when they are not with me, I'm happy. So my happiness, my contentment, or my state of well-being is dependent upon so many conditions. Just close your eyes and think. I want a job, I want this, there is nothing wrong in that. That is the current state. So that means I have to follow this lifestyle. But whereas a jnani or a self-realized master, his characteristics is given. Yastu atma yaha tu. A person, whoever he be, right? It doesn't matter. Again, the universal pronoun used in Gita. You can see this universal pronoun. Gita is not calling out or differentiating any human being. As long as he follows this quality, exhibit this quality, that is perfect. So, yatu atma rati. Rati means contentment, happiness, joy. So, that is the word. It comes from Ram, right? The word Ram also comes from that happiness within. So, yatu atmarati, the one who is extremely happy without any conditions. Atma triptascha manavaha. Yatu atmarati evascha. He is not dependent upon any external object for being happy. Then what? Atma triptasa. He is completely contented with himself. Of course, he may interact with other people. He will do X, Y, Z, everything. But he don't need to get anything, or he don't need to have something happen, or he don't need to change anything for himself to be happy or contented. His happiness is not dependent upon anything else. So, Atma Triptascha, he is happy within himself. He is already very happy, and that happiness is not dependent upon anything else. But for me to happy, right, I need to be, have a good climate. I need to be like, feel good, physically feel good. I need to have Swami Chinmayananda used to say, like, the spouse should smile exactly the way he wants. Too much smile is a problem, too less smile is a problem. So many conditioning are there for me to be happy and contented. Here, yatu atmarati evasya atma triptascha manasaha. Atmani evaha santushtaha. He don't need atmani evaha. Only in himself. Just being himself, he is completely happy. Tasya karyam na vidyate. He don't need to forcefully do this karma yoga, because what comes to him from naturally, it will be karma yoga. So what comes naturally for a master, a jnani, or a self-realized master, as seekers, we need to follow that. That is what the meaning of this verse. Estu atmarati revasya atma triptascha manavaha atmani evaha santushtaha tasya karyam na vidyate. Means he don't have to force himself. So once you do this yoga or the meditation and you have this healthy lifestyle, or a period of time, you cannot, without meditating 5 minutes, you cannot go to sleep. Without doing your daily routine exercises, you cannot go to sleep. And naturally, the food you select, you will be, means you don't need a Noom, you don't need a MyFitnessPal to measure. Whatever you eat, it will be healthy. Once you reach that, you don't have to force yourself in all those monitoring. That's all it means. So initially, every one of us has to force ourselves, make sure that we are following this karma yoga, have a checklist, make sure that I did Panchamahayajna, monitor all my action and make sure that I'm not doing any tamasic action, make sure that I'm inculcating this Ishwararpana buddhi, and what is the next buddhi? The Prasada buddhi. Make sure that I'm doing this Upasana yoga. So I continue this lifestyle to a certain period of time, so that this will come part and parcel of my life, and naturally all my action will follow that lifestyle. At that point of time, I don't have to bother about that. That is the only exception. Any question?
So Rajeshji, when you say that that's the only exception, it's not that a jnani or a self-realized master is not doing that. It's just that he doesn't have to exert to do it.
Correct. He's doing it automatically. His natural action is like that. We saw this in the second chapter also. So it comes naturally to him. He will do it. So let's continue. One more verse. Why? Why do you give that exception, right? So let's see that. Anu, could you chant?
Naiva tasya krite nathaha na krite neha kaschana na chasya sarva bhuteshu kaschidаттhavyapashrayah.
Okay. again, brilliant verse, right? He tells, Naiva tasya kritenarthaha. For a self-realized master, he don't have to create a new system. By krita means action. Arthaha means goal. He don't have to, he may have a goal of, means he may do a lot of action, but by doing certain action, he don't have to create anything for his well-being because he is already contented. And also, if he is not doing something, that is not going to lose anything. That is the state, right? He may do out of the love for the humanity, but he don't have to gain anything by performing certain actions, and he don't have to lose anything by not performing anything. And nachasya sarva bhuteshu kaschidascha vyapashidaha. And he is not dependent upon anything or any being for his contentment. That is the classic lakshana or the characteristics of a self-realized master. You can see. So there are two sentences here. The first sentence is, for that person, there is no purpose. Purpose means he don't need to gain anything for himself to be happy because he's already completely happy. He don't have to not to do anything for becoming happy. And such a person is not dependent upon anything or any being for his happiness and contentment. So that is the lakshana of a jnani. And naturally, whatever he does fits with that universal harmony. And he don't have to worry about consciously following the karma yoga. Until you reach there, you have to forcefully or consciously, I would not use the word force because that is not the style of the Gita, consciously practice karma yoga. Why should I practice karma yoga? For my own benefit. I practice karma yoga for my own benefit, not for anybody else's benefit. So that is what these verses talks. So we covered 3 verses. First one is, we just took the train from where it left last week, where we stopped last week. We talked about the universal cycle, how that cycle is happening, and what is the role of yajna or the karma yoga in that overall cycle, and what is the problem in breaking that? Because when you break that, you're eating nothing but sin, you're not spiritually progressing, your life is total waste. And then how long you need to continue this practice? Till you get that self-realization, till you find you're not dependent on anything or anybody for yourself to be happy and contented. That is self-realized state. Till then, you have to continue. So what I suggested as Brahma Yajna earlier is this next 1 week, please read these verses, contemplate upon the meaning. That is one thing. And Rohitji, I got your suggestion. I'm putting together 18 verses of Gita, which you can by heart and learn, which gives the complete meaning of the Gita. I need a little bit more time because I need to select the most appropriate 18 verses, but that will come. You can learn to chant those 18 verses. But this week, please download an iPhone app, which gives you the verse of Gita, iPhone or whatever smartphone app, which gives you the verses. Just read 16, 17, and 18 and make sure that you understand it very well. At least when you hear the chanting, you can get the meaning in your head. You don't need to by heart. That itself is fantastic Brahma Yajna, if you can do that.
Sorry, Rajeshji, you said chapter 3, 16, 17, 18, right?
That's what we covered today, 16, 17, 18. Next week, we will do the next week verses. Whatever verse we cover in that week, I do that reflection, okay? Means I do 1 week ahead. Like now I start the next 3 verses. You can, so 1 week I contemplate upon that and I read a lot of book, but that is my Brahma Yajna. So everybody can pick up your Brahma Yajna.
Like when you say you contemplate on that, Rajesh, like how is that?
One way of doing it is you try to, one option is you can listen to the chanting and try to see whether you have the meaning, at least not the whole meaning, but at least what exactly is your understanding, right? So Shravanam had to be followed by Mananam. So if you have any doubt, reach out to me or listen to the video, or you can ask me. Just make sure that you're clarifying all your doubt related to that 3 verses. Studying 3 verses on a week is not difficult.
Sure.
It's easy. So eventually what happens is, when you listen to any Gita verse, somebody chanting, you should pick up the meaning. And I think I told you, right? When I was sitting with you or chanting in that Durga Mandir, it was such a great experience for me when I was closing my eyes and listening all of you chanting every verse. It was such a fantastic experience. So that's what I was suggesting this to you. When you know the meaning, it takes you to a different dimension.
And Rajaji, just wanted to share, I have also seen this happens to me, that when I try to contemplate very deeply on a certain verse, I get experiences in life, in practical life, that reinforce those verses to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's exactly what we need. So that Shravanam Mananam, later point of time, we can practice Nidithyasana. But for that, we need to practice a little bit more. So this way, when we study the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, we will get more into the other part, Upasana Yoga. So that's why you combine these 2 books, Patanjali Yoga Sutra and Bhagavad Gita. We will get a full set of spiritual path. So Patanjali Yoga Sutra has Karma Yoga in a very, 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 very minimal fashion. Bhagavad Gita has that meditation part in 1 chapter. So both of it's not that one book is not talking about that, but the emphasis is slightly different. The Bhagavad Gita, you can see more emphasis is given to Karma Yoga, whereas Yoga Sutra, you will see more emphasis is given to Upasana Yoga, which is the meditation. Okay, so any questions? Otherwise, we can close here, and we can continue on Tuesday with chapter 8, and then Thursday with Atma Bodha. We started Nidithyasana. We will continue that deep Vedantic topic there.
Rajaji, just a quick question. Patanjali Yoga Sutras, when exactly are we starting that class?
Actually, we have an event. I want to talk about that. We have an event on happiness that is on 20th. So the Yoga Sutra classes will be after that. So maybe the week after that. I was thinking initially immediately after Shivaratri, but let's focus on that event. And it's a free event. So please invite all your friends, because this is the World Happiness Day. UN is observing that. And we have a wonderful set of panel and a wonderful set of artists performing on that day. So we'll start Patanjali Yoga Sutra. We will study that in detail in the next 196 sutras. We will talk. I will talk 1 or 2, 3 weeks about the Patanjali Yoga, where exactly this yoga system comes in, where exactly, because there are 6 schools, and what are all that schools, what is yoga system, and how we can go in deep into that. We'll cover 3 sutras every day. So 1 chapter, it will take 3 to 4 sutras we can cover. But 3 sutras is a good number.
Rajaji, will you be also talking about any books that we may want to follow on the Yoga Sutras?
Yeah, I'll give you all the books for Yoga Sutra. I'm putting all the books in the library, so you'll have all the books. A lot of books are there. This Patanjali Yoga Sutra and Bhagavad Gita are the most widely followed books from our Vedic tradition outside of India also. So there's a lot of books. Anybody has any other book recommendation? Once in a while, I always want to. How is your reading on Atomic Habits going on, Arnabji?
Great. There's also a book called by Charles Duhigg. It's called Habit, Power of Habit, and it borrows from that. There are some concepts that it talks about in Atomic Habits. Very practical, very actionable, and very profound.
Why don't you give us a talk? Take 15 minutes, one of the sessions. We can have a discussion groups. Anybody wants to talk about any book you read, please bring it up. It will be beneficial for all.
Okay, sure. I can discuss that offline with you. 15 minutes is, I may have to prepare some, quick slides, but definitely. I think I could.
One way is this is good. Actually, this is going to help you professionally, personally, right? Public speaking is one of the most difficult skill. So I'm not forcing anybody. If anybody wants to talk about a book or a particular idea, you're always welcome. We can find some time.
Like a synopsis on it, definitely.
Yeah, synopsis of the book, etc.
Yeah.
So I invited the author of Janaka and Ashtavakra, which is a book I already mentioned to you. We can have a talk by him, and also we can have a Q&A with him. So I personally recommend that book to all of you. The book is called Janaka and Ashtavakra. You can buy that from Amazon Kindle or Amazon. It's an excellent book because Ashtavakra Gita is one of the other popular Vedantic textbook. And this book is in a very story form, in a novel form. This introduces people into Vedanta. It's brilliant work.
Rajaji, there's also Uddhav Gita.
No, this is Janaka and Ashtavakra. This is Ashtavakra Gita.
What is this about? This book is about, Rajesh?
So this book, Ashtavakra Gita, is a conversation between the sage Ashtavakra and the king Janaka. So it's as good as Bhagavad Gita, right? So this book introduces a new reader into this idea, right? And it discusses the most subtlest Vedantic principle in a very, very, very light manner. So this is somebody wants to get introduced to this topic. This book is really good. It's only 180 pages. You can read this in a few days. So just read it. I think we can have him, Ashraf. We can have him come and talk to us in April.
Rajaji, is the name of the book Ashtavakra Gita by Swami Chinmayananda?
No, the book is called Janaka and Ashtavakra. So once you read this Janaka and Ashtavakra, we can go to Ashtavakra Gita and study.
Okay. By Ashraf Karayat.
Correct.
A journey beyond. Janaka and Ashtavakra, journey beyond.
Journey beyond, yeah.
Journey beyond, exactly. So this is Ashraf. He is such a great writer. His language is fantastic, and the way he presented the book is like a novel. So you can just read like a story, and it is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so reading is another habit we all can inculcate, right? It's all stopped because of this modern age visual medium.
Yes.
If you can have some 15 minutes reading every day, that is great. I personally feel that way.
And it could also be Brahma Yajna if
you're reading. It is. It can be your Brahma Yajna study. Yep. Absolutely. Okay. So Anu, could you chant the Purnamada Purnamida? And we can start.
Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Guru Pyo